so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, that they are the Hebrew Israelites according to the Bible, as well as all of the Israelite foreigners that look like different nations and speak in different tongues. We come to preach the downfall of America, which is Babylon the Great, Rome, Egypt, all over again in the scriptures. And we come to pretty much profess the truth, man, as our Lord Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, commanded us to do so. But before we get started, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Yahweh Kakadash.
Yahweh being the Heavenly Father's true name in the ancient Hebrew, and Yahweh Shai being who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ in the true ancient Hebrew. All right, we want to give double honors to our elders and apostles who do well. From Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Start their brothers doing this work.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 28 and verse 8. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Yeah, man, those prophets that you've read about in the scriptures and the prophets that you have not read about, they've prophesied against great kingdoms, destruction, famines, all type of shit, man. Chaos, and we come in that same lot because the spirit of the prophets are subject to the prophets. So we are prophets and reincarnated. We may not be the prophets that are specifically written to the scriptures. Maybe we are. Some of us are. We don't know. But there were many prophets. A prophet is just a messenger of the Most High.
Yep.
So there were many prophets that were not documented in the scriptures. These are the ones that are documented are the major prophets.
And we know
the major prophecies to come.
And we know that statement to be true because there's stories in the Bible about how when the disciples at the time were with Yahweh Shai and they were walking, they seen other brothers doing the same work. Yeah. And then the disciples was like, man, who them basically acting like us, doing what we do? Yep. And Yahweh Shai, ignorantly called Jesus, was like, nah, chill out. They do the will of my Father. They with us, basically. If they're not against us, they for us. Yeah. So they learn from us, because remember the disciples were on the scene learning, and they out here doing the work. That means the spirit was on them to do the same thing. Yeah. That's why now, like the brother just said, we understand that there was many prophets who went out on the streets and spread the message, man. Yep. And it was many who weren't documented and who were killed and were martyrs and all types of stuff like that.
Right. Because the modern definition of prophet, which most people today would say is a prophet, is somebody who tells the future, which is, it's not necessarily 100% true, because a prophet is simply a messenger of the Most High.
That speaks of the prophecies of the future.
Exactly. Right. So basically, whatever the Most High instructs into a man to go and profess, that is a prophet. The Most High is given a message to bring. Now we come today and we bring light unto the prophecies that were written before time. Yep. Because we're able to bring a more educated and more modern twist to the prophecies to be able to make it simple for you people. Exactly. As the scriptures say, to make it plain upon tables. And just like, for example, Revelations, all right, the microchip, we're able to come and tell you, yo, the mark of the beast in Revelations is talking about the RFID chip.
Yep.
That's a prophetic statement.
Or some kind of form of it.
Yeah. Right.
Because of the fact that RFID is the way they're going to be able to, mind you, and how do we know that? Just to add to what the brother's saying, is because look at your phones. Everything is NFC or RFID. Yeah. Look at your credit cards or your debit cards. That chip. That's an RFID, or
it's all in your phone.
It's all in your phone. All of that is basically gearing us up for. It says in the scriptures that no one should be able to buy or sell if they don't have the mark. Why do I have to buy or sell with this mark? It's because that's going to be what it's going to use to be able for them to sell.
The beautiful thing about the Apple Pay though is because the way iPhones are designed, the block button that you have to double press is on the right side. Most people hold their phones like this. So when you go to tap and pay, you naturally put it in motion where it's like it's your palm of your hand.
The palm of your hand.
Where the chip will be implanted like right here. Mm-hmm. So you naturally going like this, and then it's systematically and psychologically setting the stage for you get comfortable to just boop, boop. Come on, it's all psychological. Psychology is a real thing, man. And Esau have the best psychologists working in their teams. Well, listen, you want to pollute the minds of the people?
Psychology is basically witchcraft.
Yep.
It's manipulation. Mm-hmm. It's conjuring. It's using spiritual power on the left hand side to be able to control the masses. Right. That's exactly what it is. We're gonna bring that out, and then we're gonna get into like yeah, go.
Yeah. Revelations 19:10. And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, See thou do it not, I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua. Worship Yahweh, for the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of the prophecy.
So the spirit of prophecy. So any man, right, that has a stable body and a stable mind and a spiritual man will understand that if you come to serve who you ignorantly call Jesus, then you must be in the same like mind as he was, be on the same accord. He came in the spirit of prophecy. When he spoke, when Yahushua, who you ignorantly call Jesus, spoke, he referenced the Old Testament and the what? The Apocrypha.
A lot of the prophecies that Yahushua, especially in 24, especially in 24, he honestly was reiterating prophecies of Second Esdras, as well as like Daniel, Jeremiah,
Jeremiah 50, 51, all of those things, right? He was literally, so when people say, oh, Jesus didn't know about the Old Testament, yes, he did. Because
who's ever said that? That's a crazy statement.
People would try to sit here and try
so
to. So
basically, you're saying Yahushua, who you people, or Jesus, who you people deem as God, right? Because the Christians think that Jesus is the Most High. He didn't know about the Old Testament. Come on, man, that's another contradiction in your doctrine, bro.
They'll say, well, he was walking the earth. I said, bro, what do you think? Or they'll say that the Apocrypha doesn't exist. But guess what? I'm just going to use this one thing, and we're going to get back on topic: the Feast of Dedications. How do you learn about the Feast of Dedications, aka Hanukkah, if you don't have the Apocrypha? Where did it come from? Why was it established? Why is it a high holy day? This is what I mean by so many people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. They are people, all right? Now, this lesson. All right, get that precept.
Real quick. This watch.
Yeah, we're not getting on topic. We're just going to get into prophecy.
You're not.
The whole purpose of this is to get back into prophecy.
Hebrews 10:7. It says, starting at 9. Then said he, Lo, I come to do thy will, O Lord, O Yahweh. He taketh away the first, that he may establish the second, by which will we are sanctified through the offering. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, wait, it's
What you looking for?
Got it. So like it. Hebrews 10, I'm gonna start at 7. Then said I, Lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me to do thy will of Yahweh.
So it says Yahushua comes in the volume of the book. That's Old Testament, New Testament, or Old Testament, Apocrypha, New Testament, because that's the actual chronological order. If you go based off of who was ruling, the rulerships, who were the kings, and so far so on. Talking about the prophecies of Yahushua being on the scene, to the Yahushua being off the scene, to Yahushua future prophecies, Yahushua coming back. It's all in chronological order if you have those three inserts.
And I think the key part, not even think, the key part is, it says that in the volume of the book, it is written of me.
It's written of me.
Because I am the word.
I am the word. Yep.
Because Yahushua is essentially the word made flesh, bro. Because he's like basically Most High created Yahushua and instilled in him everything, basically. And then the story is written essentially the word, which is more or less not even just the Bible, but it's more so the truth, the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, the prophecies, the future. You know what I mean? That's what Yahushua embodies.
What you want. All right. So now that we know that the spirit of prophecy is supposed to be on the men who especially are on the highways and hedges, who are teaching, who are putting their bodies and their minds and their spirits in harm's way to do the will of thy Father, you know, we are in the spirit of prophecy. So now we're going to get into some world events. What's going on in the world? One of my brothers the other day, I believe it was his brother Samak, was like, yo, I need y'all to start posting more articles of what's going on in the world into the group chat. So this is perfect time to kind of jump back into it, because we haven't talked about the world's prophecies or what's going on. All right. So a lot of people thought that things were going to slow down because of Trump being in office, and that's farther than the truth. Just recently, we're going to get into a few different articles, but just recently, Trump tried to barter a peace treaty between Ukraine and Russia, right? If everybody knows about that, if you've been paying attention, being on your watch, you'll understand that, right? The peace treaty basically has been null and void. The reason why is because Putin has actually just bombed and gone farther into Ukraine, taking some cities and also taking more land, which now Trump is calling Putin crazy, and then now they're talking about that America might actually have to brace for war, because remember, America had vowed to always protect who? Ukraine, Israel, and all of its younger allies. this is actually going to push us farther into what? World War III. A couple of other things. Actually, I'm going to read a little bit into that, then I'm going to get into something called the Golden Dome. The reason I want to bring up the Golden Dome is because obviously the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of, knows that his indignation is coming. Because why is he talking about a Golden Dome? Now, if you know anything about Israel, they have something called the Iron Dome, where basically, if you notice, when Gaza was sending missiles over into their land, a lot of the missiles were being shot down. If not, mostly all of them were being shot down. They have something called the Iron Dome. America now is trying to implement a new system called the Golden Dome that can basically be able to detect missiles from when they're first launched. They will be able to pinpoint and basically counteract any missile coming from any land and anywhere.
Yeah, they're trying to get Canada to buy it, to pay for it.
And they're trying to get, okay, well, that...
Trump says Golden Dome missile system will cost Canada $61 billion.
That's some gangster shit. See,
Yeah,
so we're going to get into that, okay? So first we're going to get into the original.
And then when you know the fact that Canada can't have an army because of the U.S.
Yep. So
you
got to pay for it.
You want the Golden Dome capabilities a little more.
And it's
depth?
probably
Not
like,
yet. No, we're not
it's
gonna say
probably
it.
like,
We're
yo, you'll benefit from it too because it'll cover your
Yep. It'll cover you too. Yep. Basically, strong arm.
So when we know, you know.
It's a strong arm robbery. So go back to the last article that I pulled up.
Yeah, my
Pull up from the bottom.
Yeah, I know, but I'm looking for another jaw. I might have tapped out of that.
No, you good, bro. You good, bro. Good, because it was only right here. Slovakia.
Oh, you got end times end.
Yeah, there.
Over
Yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm. And then if you scroll down, so go to browse, and then you scroll down. Oh, look at that. 7 keys to survive Babylon in the last days. Shit, articles coming out crazy. All right, so Trump warns that Putin is playing with fire and new jab at Russian leader. We'll get into that after we pull up why he's saying that. You scroll down. Russia takes more land, declares peace. Yeah, here we go. And you can read. You don't got to read the whole article, but just read the outline, and then we're gonna just we're on our watch, so we're just giving information for all those who are probably not privy to any of this information.
It says Russia takes more land, declares peace deal is dead. America must now prepare for the prospect of war.
So Russia has gotten rid of the peace deal that was brokered between Russia and Ukraine by Trump. Now
It's not that long.
it's not that long. Just read it. Just read the little.
All right, it says Russian forces have taken 4 border villages in Ukraine's northeastern Sumy region. A local official said Tuesday, days after Russian President Vladimir Putin said he had issued an order to establish a buffer zone along the border.
So what Putin is trying to do is he's trying to remember, because if you know anything about the original reason why Putin went into war, right? There was two reasons. They were trying to liberate the Donbass region because it was under a lot of persecution, a lot of sex trafficking and things like that. So he was trying to liberate it, basically saying this is part of Russia anyway, right? America and Ukraine and the UN basically said, no, you have no right to go into that land to take anything. It's not your land, because America has declared Ukraine as a sovereign nation. Russia basically also said, okay, I hear what you're saying, but look what's going over there. We need to liberate those people. Also, you didn't want me to join the UN. When I asked to be a part of your UN, when I asked to have peace treaties, you told me no. And then we made a treaty basically saying, you will not get closer to my borders. You won't allow any other country that is close to my country to basically join the UN, so we can stay separated. Because the more countries that are in the UN, guess what? The UN puts their embassies, their bases and everything, and you're getting closer and closer to the Russian borders. This was how the war all started. It all started because Putin, which that's his land and all that going on. I'm not going to get into all of that. But Putin's like, yo, no, we need to liberate these people. Also, why y'all worried about my affairs? And y'all told me that we can't be friends. So, and what has America and the UN been doing? They've been systematically allowing other nations closer to Russia to join the UN, which now Russia's like, whoa, y'all getting too close to my borders. Now let's move forward. The reason why Putin went into Ukraine and took neighboring villages, if you read, it says he was trying to create a buffer zone so America couldn't be on their border. So Ukraine couldn't have their border, so they took over some villages to open up a neutral zone that says no one can come into here. That way, y'all stay over there and we stay over here. But America is basically saying, no, you can't do that without our say. Putin, like, who the fuck you talking to? I'ma do what I want. You know what? This peace treaty is dead. It's going to be what it's going to be. Now, mind you, you read the scriptures, you go into prophecy, which we're talking about. We know that this was bound to happen because it says that Magog and Gog shall be a defense unto the nations, and they would what? Wage war with who? Babylon. Who's Babylon today? America. So we already knew, based on the prophecies that Yahweh Shah, the word, gave us, we know that this was coming. Go ahead.
It says, Sumy borders Russia's Kursk region, where a surprise Ukrainian incursion last year captured a pocket of land in the first occupation of Russian territory since World War II.
So this was actually originally Russia's land, that's what it was saying. So all they did was take it back, and it became a problem, but this was one of the first regions that Ukraine tried to take. And they actually did take, so Russia basically took it back. Now America is butthurt about it, because now what's actually hurt? Trump's pride. The so-called pride of the so-called white man. Pride comes before the fall. He's prideful. Oh, what you doing going? I told y'all peace. He said, yo, that peace is done. Y'all too close to me. I told y'all to back the hell up, and y'all don't want to, so guess what? I'm going to make a region of backing up. This was us anyway. Right. There you go.
Yep, it says creating a buffer zone could help Russia prevent further Ukrainian cross-border attacks here. Right.
So they were trying to create a buffer zone so Ukraine could stop coming into their land and starting skirmishes and attacks. So what they were doing was actually trying to uphold the peace treaty, but because America, the UN, and these Edomites are so prideful about the littlest things, they couldn't see the bigger writing on the wall. But guess what? That's also the Lord stirring this thing up.
Yeah.
The Lord don't want peace. The Lord is a man of war. Yeah. So the Lord is going to literally, and mind you, the scriptures talk about how the Lord controls. Yeah, it's not the time of peace. And also the Lord controls the hearts of the kings. So Putin, thinking he's doing the right thing for his people, he went and took back what was originally his, which basically goes against the treaty that Trump tried to barter. And this is where we're at right now. All right?
I'll continue for a second. Meanwhile, a Russian bombing campaign that had escalated in recent days slowed overnight as far as fewer Russian drones targeted Ukrainian towns and cities. Okay.
That's another thing. Russia was so upset that Russia was sending drones, and they were bombing the hell out of Ukraine. Like you said, towns and neighboring cities. Russia was going in. Go ahead.
Moscow's invasion has shown no signs of stopping despite months of intense U.S.-led efforts to secure a ceasefire and get traction for peace talks. Since Russian and Ukrainian delegations met in Turkey earlier this month for their first direct talks in 3 years, a large prisoner exchange have been the only tangible outcome, but negotiations have brought no significant breakthrough. They don't want no peace.
They don't want no peace because the prophecy, literally, if you read the prophecy, there isn't going to be any peace until it boils over into the Valley of Jehoshaphat, which is modern-day Syria, and this is where the World War III is going to be taking place, right? We're just trying to give perspective on why things are going on the way they are. Mind you, you can't do anything against the truth but for the truth. So it doesn't matter how much they talk about peace, how much they're talking about a bartering system, how much they talk about a buffer zone. The Lord wants what the Lord wants because the Lord needs his glory. All of this is about the Lord's glory. This is the Lord, it's Yahweh's movie, and the Lord is basically playing it out, who is Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
Meanwhile, the Russian press had declared Donald Trump's peace deal is dying a slow death, as a key ally of Vladimir Putin mocked Western ceasefire plans by posting a map showing almost all of Ukraine occupied by Kremlin forces.
So basically what it's saying is this: how are we going to have a peace deal when I'm already winning the war? Right. For verbatim. I'm making this easy playing behind tables. How are we going to have a peace deal when I'm already winning? I already control all of this with my forces. So you telling me I got to give it all up because you want to barter a system? What do you get out of it, America? Because mind you, America's getting something out of this. So there's always a clause and a reasoning behind everything. All right? Shalom, how you been, brother? That's good. You were there. You were there. So this is just getting back into prophecy. Listen, there's no way this is slowing down. As much as they want to talk about mind you, that's why the scripture talks about peace and safety and then sudden destruction. Now that we have that together, now Trump's talking about what? A golden dome. I already kind of paraphrased a little bit to give you an understanding. Remember the Iron Dome over Israel? The Golden Dome is supposed to be even far more superior than their dome. And their dome is actually
Pretty good.
pretty, probably the best dome on the planet right now. But Trump's now talking about the Golden Dome. The Golden Dome is basically going to be a defense system that is going to cover the entire America, that is going to be so sophisticated with the new technology, AI, and all these other things, that it will be able to detect a missile as soon as it's launched. Not when it's in the air, as soon as it's launched. It'll be able to use the satellites. I'm pretty sure, I didn't read about this yet, but what is one thing that, what's his name? Elon Musk has? He has something called what? Cyberlink. What's it called? Yeah, my phone. No. It's his internet system. He's actually supplying it to Ukraine right now.
I don't know.
One second. Slocky, brother. One second. Let me get the exact name. Let me not chop it up. Elon Musk.
Yo, y'all see Elon Musk, bro. That boy got missiles landing now. Y'all see them, Jones?
Like what? Oh, it's called Starlink.
Yeah, they will shoot
Starlink.
missiles
Yeah.
instead of just being exposed.
But that's been old. That
They've
been doing it for years now. It's called Starlink. Starlink satellite internet. Now, mind you,
Starlink.
who's Trump's right hand man right now? Elon Musk. So you think that they're not going to be using the Starlink global network system to be able to detect with the Golden Dome? But the brother is going to bring out some more literature and understanding behind it, so we can give a better understanding of what the Golden Dome is. But it's a defense system to be able to withstand ballistic and ICBM nuclear missiles, ballistic missiles that are supposed to be shot from the ends of the earth. What does that sound like? Future prophecy. But we'll get into that prophecy after we read more about this to clean it all up. Go ahead, brother.
Let me see. Okay, this might do it.
Right,
Golden Dome for America is a revolutionary concept to further the goals of peace through strength and President Trump's vision for deterring adversaries from attacks on the homeland.
Let's be realistic. That's not for deterring, that's for having more global power. Because if I have something where you can't attack me, but I can attack you at all times, I now dominate you. You can't hurt me, but I can hurt you. What does that sound like? That's not for brokering peace, that's for brokering dominance, imperialism. That's literally what Esau's MO is. Remember, it says that we shall come back to rebuild the desolate places, right? That's them trying to be like the Most High, to ascend into the stars, to have complete control and dominance, because they know they have but a short time. So they're pulling out all the stops, because I'm pretty sure, remember it says that they're wiser than Daniel. They know that the future prophecy says that the nation shall shoot their arrows into the earth and utterly obliterate this place. So now they're talking about creating a golden dome. Go ahead.
I saw this on TV too. This is how it's going to look as far as like a sonar looking.
Show the TV.
Yeah, it's going to look like that. It's going to cover that much of the planet in order to protect the whole entire United States. The whole, yeah, I see it. That's my head. The whole entire United States.
Well, what else would it be protecting?
Well, yeah, I understand. I would assume probably pieces of Canada.
Well, obviously that's still America. Yeah. Didn't he try to call it the 51st state?
Shit.
They want him.
They like, yo, just join us, nigga.
They want Canada.
It says, this next generation defense shield will identify incoming projectiles, calculate trajectory, and deploy interceptor missiles to destroy them in mid-flight, safeguarding the homeland and projecting American strength.
All right. That's why they want to detect it early, because if they detect it early, like basically as soon as it's shot, they already have a missile prepared, ready to go.
Yep.
So that even if they do intercept it, they're intercepting it closer to your country than
it's
ours.
So, because mind you, if an ICBM nuclear missile was to blow up over top of our country, what will happen? An EMP. All the power will be wiped out, and you still have major destruction. That's just if a ICBM nuclear missile blew up above our skies.
You still have ash and shit coming down.
So guess what? Now the Golden Dome, like as soon as they click, shoot, fire, a missile was already shot and knows the trajectory. So as that Jones coming up, that shit, boom, right before you even touch us. Touch them. I'm gonna say them because we know my Lord and Savior coming back to. I mean, just keeping it real.
Let me see.
Let's go.
Let me see. The challenge: mobilize American industry and innovation to deliver the first Golden Dome for American defenses by the end of next year.
So what they're trying to do is basically turn the furnaces back on. They want America to be instead of being a complete import company, import country. They want our facilities. Remember how in World War One and World War Two? Yeah, as soon as you said it, I already know what he's talking about. World War One, World War Two. How did we end up winning the war? Our entire country turned into a military industrial system where everybody was building weapons and everything. So what they're trying to do is make new jobs and stimulate the economy at the same time, stir up nationalism and create the Golden Dome. Go ahead.
It says, while we deploy that combat-proven foundation, we will bring in the best and brightest American innovation to rapidly develop game-changing tech, like space-based interceptors, hypersonic defenses that will ensure America's Golden Dome stays well ahead of adversary threats.
See?
Which goes against,
Prophecy.
because in Joel 2, when Joel describes
we're gonna get it.
he talks about how
We're gonna get it. All right, brother. That was literally what we get to.
yeah.
But I'm glad your brain
Yeah.
is on point, man. I mean, my brother in the spirit, man. Go ahead. I know. Also, you were explaining how it's making all the other countries nervous.
Right.
You got that
Yeah.
article?
No, I saw it on TV.
All right. Well, you can speak about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so basically what's going on is as of right now, Israel, China, well, not Israel because it's supposed to be a part of America, but China and
No,
Russia.
even Israel, because there's been people lobbying to get rid of Israel as being an ally.
Right.
There's people
Well,
lobbying about that right now. If you see what's going on in the world, I know y'all heard the new Kanye song, but we ain't gonna say that on camera. right now.
Yeah, basically,
He's not out of control.
yeah, basically, China's highest officials in Russia has been speaking about how the Golden Dome can be an immense threat to their
It's an immense threat because what was the
national
whole?
security in their situation.
And I'm gonna tell you why it's an immense threat. Let's be realistic. Remember the race for nuclear weapons? What was the whole point of having nuclear weapons? To deter other countries from retaliating.
Right.
If I have nuclear and you don't have nuclear, shut the fuck up.
Correct.
Excuse my language.
Nagasaki and Hiroshima was the started.
Yeah, I mean, I can destroy you, you can't destroy me. So the race to get nuclear weapons to level the playing field. You shoot me, I'm gonna shoot you. Now America's like, all right, everybody got nukes now. Let's create the Golden Dome. No one else has it. And now guess what? I don't care if you have nukes. You shoot them, we're shooting them down, and then we can still shoot you.
In the
That's what it
beginning,
is.
right? The whole purpose of nukes, like you said, were a deterrent. It was basically like a big bluff, if you will, but it wasn't really a bluff.
No.
'Cause I got the power.
No, it wasn't
It was
a
a
bluff.
threat. It was a big ass threat.
The
Like,
reason
yo,
why it wasn't a bluff because Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Exactly. That time,
They already
nobody
do
had
it.
never seen that
They've
before.
already done it. They said, look, you seen what we did to them. What makes you think we won't do it again?
So
and
that-
we got bigger, better power.
that everybody wanted to get nukes just so they could have that. It's like two shields essentially
Yep.
that are capable of destruction.
It's
So it's kinda like,
it's,
yo,
it's,
all
it's,
right.
what's that term?
Causes a stalemate.
No, it's a term.
It's a
It's
term.
called mutual destruction, mutual something destruction. Like, you kill me, I kill you, we die together.
So
So
it's
how
kinda
about
like
we just not
not
kill
do
each
it.
other?
Yeah, that's why
But
our
now it's
average
getting to
brother go like this, and he go, I
You
got
better
one.
do it.
all right.
Yeah, both walk away.
You walk away. Or when one got one, he get overpowered.
Power,
You
yeah.
go, oh, I got one of them too. What you doing?
Right,
You
you know.
sure you want to do this right now?
And it's like,
All right.
And also,
I'ma catch you.
And also,
I'ma catch
yo,
you.
there's a study that the human nature biologically already knows the what you call the risk of getting hurt, so to prevent it on both accords, and they walk
Or
away.
I can tell you right now, can you take a house without binding a strong man?
Correct.
Why do you have to bind a strong man first? Because if you got a strong man and you strong men, you know you can't run into that house
Right.
without getting rid of that strong man. Because that strong man ain't gonna let you just come up in his house.
You might lose.
And you might lose.
Yeah, you
so
might
they saying,
lose.
yo, we gotta sneak in and bind that motherfucker.
Right.
How do you bind the world? By creating the Golden Dome, will now put America back at its pinnacle.
Yeah, the one up.
It's the one up,
Yeah.
and that's what they want. They want that one up.
it's a mutual assured destruction.
Here you go, brother. That's exactly what it is. My man.
military strategy and national security policy that posits a full-scale nuclear attack by one nuclear-armed nation against another will result in the complete annihilation of both sides. It is
And
based,
when I say that
so
was,
this-
it's called a stalemate.
So
It's based on the
I
idea of the deterrence, where the threat of a devastating retaliatory strike prevents the initial attack. That's the water, bro.
The water, that was exactly the term I was looking for. Mutual destruction, right? But guess what? If America gets a Golden Dome, there's no longer
A mutual
assured destruction, because go ahead and shoot yours. I'm going to shoot yours down,
And then
then
I'm
I'm
gonna
going
shoot-
then
at
I'm
the
gonna
same
shoot-
time, I'm
then
gonna shoot mine.
Then I'm going to shoot mine. Let's see if you can stop mine, but I'm stopping yours.
Yep.
That's why Russia, China, or BRICS are all like, whoa,
So then that'll put Trump in the I dare you shoot one day.
Yeah, because if the Golden Dome go up, now mind you, But it also made me, like brother brought out Joel. Yeah, we're gonna get into
Then
it.
shall, yeah.
We go. Method, just go
Method, get it.
just
That's,
get it.
that's
Now-
gonna go perfect into that.
Now get Joel.
Go ahead, Joel too.
I think okay.
Joel Tuski.
You,
bro.
you also
Listen.
talking about Jeremiah 51?
No,
Which one are we talking about?
when the Lord's army, which is the missiles, are not going to be
They're not gonna miss their
miss their mark.
That's the
Joel
one.
too.
That's true.
Correct. That's why I
That's
brought it up.
just said.
Oh, I know.
my goodness, bro.
So like it, bro.
Bro, we've been doing it all day.
You know, so like
I
it,
told him
bro.
like, yo, bro, we doing it
Yeah,
like we
that's
over here
hilarious.
like, yeah, Joel too. He like, yo, hey, brother, hey,
Yeah, I
brother.
did bring it up first though.
Hey, bro. All right, but it doesn't
But
matter.
we just kind of like we put it together.
Right,
the
right,
Golden
right.
Dome and Joel 2.
So like it.
Hey, it's cool, brother. It's all good. You know,
Oh,
mind you,
this
this
is,
is our older brother. We're the two younger ones. Dog, dead up.
Let's say, Joel 2, I'm gonna start at the top. Let's blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain.
Mhm.
Let all inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand.
Now, the day of the Lord is what? Darkness and not light. The day of the Lord is great destruction. The day of the Lord is righteous indignation or righteous anger, which means indignation, right? The day of the Lord, when Yahushua comes back, that is not a pretty day. Only for those who are the elect. You're going to be good money. For the rest of the world, it's doom, gloom, and death. In fire, in the air, and everything is just destruction. That's the day of the Lord that everyone keeps talking about. I can't wait till Jesus come back. You sure about that?
All right.
Thou sayest. Who are you? What manner of person are you when the Lord come back? Would he catch you being in wickedness or would he catch you being in righteousness? Are you written in the book of life? Or are you written into the book of death? I don't want to say the book of death. Are you written into the order of death? Because he's going to send them death angels to come get you. But go ahead.
Verse 2, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. There have not been ever the light, neither shall any more after it, even to the years of many generations. Why?
The reason why this day is going to be the craziest day ever in existence of the humankind, of the existence since the earth was in its inception. The reason why it's going to be the craziest is because it's going to be a day of destruction like no other. The bloodshed is going to be astronomical. All the world wars put together will not even compare to the bloodshed that the Lord is bringing. Right? The amount of destruction and fire and doom and gloom will never be accounted for, even after the inception of the kingdom of heaven. And I'm pretty sure the Lord going to give us some side missions to have some fun, but that's a whole nother
But
story.
it's not going to be in the magnitude.
But it ain't going to be at this magnitude.
That weapon is a one-hitter quitter, like
Those are weapons.
Yeah, weapons. Yeah, as far as his army. That's why it says a great people and a strong. There have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it.
Yep. Keep going.
Even to the years of many generations, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth.
So this is about to give you a description of an ICBM nuclear missile. Joel, if you listen closely, Joel is breaking down what a nuclear missile does. All right? Now read that again slower, brother.
Verse 3, a fire devoureth before them,
Mhm.
and behind them a flame burneth.
A flame burner. The flame burner is the propulsion system.
Yep.
The fire ahead of it is the warhead.
Right.
Now, mind you, you got to understand something about what I'm about to break that down. And one warhead can be many ballistic warheads inside of it. Remember, one thing about nuclear bombs or ICBM nuclear missiles, it's not just one bomb. It's maybe one bomb, but inside the warhead, it can literally scatter and then boom, 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 boom. It can be multiple. That's why when the Lord describes how many are being shot, he's not saying that that's many missiles being shot. It's the freaking warheads inside of the main warhead all together.
Shout out to the one brother we used to camp with. He scored his own game, and it takes an atomic explosion to ignite him.
Yep, and it takes an atomic explosion, which we know the atomic bombs, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? Those were atomic bombs, and look at the yield they were getting. To get off to detonate an ICBM nuclear missile and all its warheads that are inside of the little casing, you need an atomic bomb to make those get hot enough and more powerful enough to blow up the rest of that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But go ahead, brother.
That shit's crazy.
And let's be realistic, people. You think the Most High got these people building all these destructive missiles and defensive systems just for them not to use them? They're going to use them at some point, and it's going to be in the very near future, bro.
So why is Trump actually building the Golden Dome? Because of this prophecy. He's trying to offset prophecy. The same way how they're trying to put the children of Israel back into slavery, because they're trying to offset prophecy. Or the fact that they're trying to keep hiding from you who you are, because the scripture says that they will wake up in the land of their captivity and they shall remember themselves. So he's trying the hardest, because the thing literally, it literally says in the scriptures, Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of following. But how do we get to that point? Here. This is how we get to that point. So he's trying to offset prophecy all around by keeping you asleep, keeping you in the jail cells, keeping you in sin, stopping you from repenting, making you feel like you're a spick, wetback nigga. They're trying to keep you down. But guess what? The Lord says, my prophecy will speak. And all his prophecies been speaking. But go ahead.
Joel did amazing. Verse 3, a fire devour before them, and behind them a flame burneth.
Propulsion system. Go ahead.
The land is as the Garden of Eden, even before it.
So the land is the Garden of Eden, meaning the land has not been touched yet. So everything, like right now, you look outside,
Grass,
you're watching this
trees.
camera right now,
Right.
you go out and look outside, how everything is just exactly where you left it the day before. It's as the Garden of Eden. Not saying that it's
normal.
Beautiful, it's just normal. But go ahead.
I mean, shit. When you really look at it, though,
It's still beautiful.
America is a majority of places in America are beautiful. We're subject to the major cities.
Yeah.
So that's all we see. When you go out to some of the counties in Philadelphia,
Matter
bro,
of
this shit
fact,
is beautiful.
Pennsylvania itself is more rural area than it is city. There's certain
We're just
cities.
at the southern.
We're just
southeast.
Yeah, Pittsburgh. You got Pittsburgh, Harrisburg, Philadelphia. You know,
And then we right at the border.
and then we all
Jersey,
and my,
Delaware, New York.
and they're all like right here in Jersey, Delaware, New York. But guess what? You go into the country, bro.
The trail areas and the little forests.
Bro,
and
not
all
even,
that.
bro.
Yeah,
Straight,
trees.
just
Bro,
straight rural.
you can go 30 minutes up from here,
Yeah.
and you're in Ambler.
Ambler, and then it's just nothing but
Fort
cornfields
Washington.
and forests.
Right.
There's mountains. You start getting into the mountains. Like, damn, I
I
didn't know it was that.
I
nice.
just came from Harleysville with my job, bro. It's fucking
What? That's like the 10th time he did that.
having fun, bro. He probably borrowed a car and he's trying to have fun with it before he get it back.
You know what? I ain't mad at that. I guess. All right, whatever. Go ahead. This is annoying when I'm
It
trying
says
to.
the land is as Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yeah, and nothing shall escape them.
So it's a desolate wilderness because after what the ICBM nuclear missiles hit this place, everything's going to be obliterated. If you read deeper into other scriptures, it talks about how literally,
Create the smith or the whisher to destroy.
yeah, not that part. I was talking about how this land is only going to be inhabited by what, fucking rodents,
Revelation.
bugs. I know, yeah, but we don't got to get into that.
understand.
It's going to be inhabited by nothing. Nothing else will ever be on this place. The Lord even said this will be in a monument.
Right.
Everyone will know of my power because of what I did to this side of the earth.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
It says, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as a horseman, so shall they run, strong and fast.
Yep.
Like the noise of chariots on the top of mountains shall they leap. Like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in a battle array.
Now, mind you, if you know anything about, so have you ever seen like geese flying south, and you see how they're in that formation,
And it's perfect.
and it's like a perfect
And it's a
formation,
reason
and
why they're in that formation.
they're in that formation to what? To protect each other, actually.
And the wind currents.
The wind currents and
They
everything.
just
Well,
swap
guess
out
what?
the first person and keep swapping.
Now, mind you, if you ever seen one of these old movies where you'll see the chariots and all the horses, and they start running, it's over that main horse, and they all come
Wild
out
as shit. Come over the hill.
and
You
come
do-
over.
you'll be like this.
What's that sound?
Actually, you ever see the versions of John when they don't see it, when don't see him yet?
That's what I mean. They don't
Over
see
the
it. They
horizon.
hear it.
Oh, you just hear
And
it.
then it comes over the hill.
Or you'll see the guys like, there's horses coming. What do you mean? I can't hear
Feel
anything.
the
And all you
ground
see-
Yeah,
and all you
there
hear
you go.
is, right. That's how when these missiles are shot, everybody's going to hear it. It's going to be loud. And think about it. ICBM nuclear missile. Think about it. One gunshot go off. That's a little bit of gunfire.
You ever
Think about an ICBM nuclear missile going off.
you know how motherfuckers be flying jets and shit through here? You
Yep,
hear
That's
it?
very loud.
Now imagine a missile.
Or I got you right here.
Or but thousands
Thousands of them. Yeah,
Yep.
that's a noise. Like, yeah.
Go ahead.
It says, before their face, the people shall be much pain. All faces shall gather blackness. Hold up. Did y'all brother see that prank when people had an interview and missiles are coming in the
they
background?
put the TV up and it looked like a missile hit. And they
That's what's explaining.
yeah, because they were all in shock. They was all because they know there was
It's over.
It's straight despair.
Yeah, it's over.
There was
Yeah,
no
blackness going in like void.
void.
It's like
It's
nothing,
straight despair.
nothing.
You know it's over. Literally, there was no. Mind you, that's how most people are going to feel unless Yahweh Shah comes and calls you into the sky.
Or you get hit from the instant jaw.
No.
That's mercy.
Okay, no, bro, because if you hear, doo, sirens going off right now, ICBM nuclear missiles are on the way, there's nowhere to go. You're going to be in despair. You're going to be looking at your loved ones.
Oh yeah, no, I thought you meant like
Nah,
like
bro.
I'm talking about the people that's actually like from the actual initial
Nah,
jaw.
bro, it's despair. Straight despair.
just
Just
seeing-
knowing
just
it's
seeing
knowing
the
it's
missile.
coming. It's despair.
It's just like it's
All
over.
that you getting hit in the first, bro. You think that's not what we're talking about, bro?
All right, that's cool. I understand. Verse 7: They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. They shall march everyone in his ways, and they shall not break their ranks.
So wait, going into, like I said, they shall leap the walls. All right, the walls really are going into the missile defense systems.
Yep.
Because you got to remember,
Thank you.
Joel, when he was prophesying, what they knew, a city's defense in the ancient world was walls.
City's defense now?
Is what the domes, the missile defense system.
Exactly.
That is our wall, our modern day walls, and the modern day sword is the missile, bro.
Yep.
So now Joel's talking about, okay, they shall leap the walls, meaning they're going to go around or surpass.
Or they're going to be able to be. They're going to be. The Lord going to pour Spirit into these missiles.
Yeah.
There's
The
no
fucking
dome.
The
There's
missile
no
defense
missile
system
defense-
probably shut off.
Bro, they probably exactly.
Shut off. It'd be one day that it's just down for
or
maintenance.
either
or
shut
some
off,
shit.
or the Lord to sit here and push a proverbial button, and they all shoot up in the air and come right back down.
Yep. Oh yeah. And
Yep. Exactly. Go ahead.
Verse 8: Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk everyone in his path, and when they all fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded.
So even when the missile defense systems are trying to destroy them, they won't even be deterred. They're going to go through that and keep
Yeah,
going.
you're gonna have angels. You're gonna have
Angels guiding
those
these
missiles,
missiles.
and boom, 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 blocking any missiles that happen to trying to hit them, which is the dome.
Yep.
Basically, it's the golden dome in the
You got
nutshell.
some nice blockers in front of
And
you.
they gonna have an angel sitting there like this, flying on them jaws. Nah.
That's going to hit his mark. Go ahead.
They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief.
Hey, they gonna hit every little part of this dome. They're not gonna hit remote locations.
It's
Them
not gonna
Jones
miss
gonna
it.
hit major cities like a fucking missile or multiple might land in center city Philadelphia, and then a couple
that's
in
a
the low.
that's a guarantee.
Yeah, it's a guarantee.
That's a
And then
guarantee.
you might have a couple that land in northeast Philly, southwest.
Not easy, bro. One missile will do it.
One missile is enough,
but the
but-
Lord already said,
Remember, overkill.
I'm doing everything.
Yeah, overkill.
Everything got to go.
Yeah.
Go ahead. But also, another reason why every missile is going to be shot is because, remember, when the kingdom of heaven established,
All that shit is gone.
all weapons are going to be destroyed. But
yeah.
why not just use the weapons of destruction to
Right.
destroy the place that you hate the most?
It's crazy. The TV show The 100 shows you how
Mhm.
what happens is that every country would launch their missiles. Now they made it a small scale, but in reality, if every country launched their missiles, the whole earth would be destroyed.
Yeah, exactly.
But the Most High is going to have it contained to where
It's only gonna be on this
It's
side.
really going to be here in America, and if any other country gets hit, the Most High is going to contain.
Yeah, I can say this right now. More than likely, all of Europe gonna get hit. Anywhere you got Edomites, more than likely gonna get hit.
Yeah.
And all those,
Great Britain.
Matter of
No.
fact, no, Europe.
Yeah, but that land is going to be able to be inhabited. It's really going to be America that's going to be
Yeah.
completely.
No, that land might not be inhabited. You understand how many? You understand? Look. The Lord said He's going to. The Lord, and I just want to just add this. The Lord said the earth is going to bring back its full yield. Meaning, there's probably lands that we can't see that we don't know about. There's mountains and islands and probably places that the world dumbs us down and makes us believe that they're not there. Do you know how much water this is? And you're trying to say it's only 7 continents and all these
Well,
islands.
you got to remember the Most High flooded the earth.
Yeah,
You
he
don't
might.
know it.
He might.
So
He
with
might.
that, the water level might have rose
To cover some
miles and miles to cover up a lot of land.
Well, they know-
and then
we
the
know that
Most
they-
High is going to drain, and then all these new lands
Lands.
emerge.
Exactly. It could be
Because
anything.
If he's going to wipe off America off the map and it's not going to be livable, but the elect are going to have to rule us, he's going to give us new lands.
Oh, of course.
Because every elect, 144,000 will have his own domain,
Right.
which is going to be equivalent to like really a planet. But
Planet,
if we try to bring it to a
Yeah.
smaller scale, every elect member, like of the 144, is going to have his own continent,
Exactly.
his own country.
Yep. That's
And
going to
it's
be
not
like,
no small country.
no. You're gonna have
No, a fucking USA.
because we know this to be
Right.
true because it
Size
says
country.
we know this to be true because it says the smallest of you shall be like a nation.
Exactly.
So we know that even our children will be creating nations,
Mhm.
right? Just like how we all came from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Yeah.
Jacob had 12 sons, and 12 sons created what? Nations.
Yeah.
Well, the whole nation, but
The
12
nations.
tribes that created nations. Go ahead.
Verse 10, the earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, for he is strong in the execute of his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide it?
Yep. Keep on.
Therefore also now, saith the Lord, turn ye even to me with all your heart, and with fasting, and with weeping, and with mourning, and rend your heart and not your garments, and turn unto the Lord your power, for he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and repent of him of the evil.
This is why we out here teaching this, because we letting our people know, hey, look, this is what's going on in the world. These are the things that Esau is setting up to try to deter. But at the end of the day, the Lord said this is still going to happen. But he also gave us a fair warning. Hey, turn your face. Come back to me with weeping, repentance, fasting. You need to get back with me, and I will deliver you from this destruction that's guaranteed to happen. Every prophecy.
You gotta get the Jacob's trouble first.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, you do.
But yeah, but no, but yeah. But like that's
yeah,
that's
you
why
do.
you have to.
you also understand something. Some are going to make it through Jacob's
A lot
trouble.
of people
A lot of our 2/3 is still going to make it through Jacob's trouble just to see this.
Because that's second death.
Yeah.
That second death.
That's the
so
worst.
understand this. You might it's gonna be little factions of Jake's little young niggas running around with their guns, and they gonna probably fighting shit off, doing what they do, having their little communities thinking they winning, just for a later destruction, because the Lord was even more angry with you. So there's gonna be people, there's gonna be people, making it out of Jacob's trouble just to see that second death. And that's the thing, man. But for the righteous, Jacob's trouble is also a proving grounds for us, and also a time for us to be joined evenly with the Lord. The reason why I say that is because you're going to know if you're part of the elect in that day. There's only two things going to happen to you during Jacob's trouble. You're either going to be saved up out of it, or you're going to be a martyr. But there's a reason why you were a martyr. You're probably a great man. The Lord is going to give you extra honors on your crown.
And I believe that those that are martyrs, it's going to be like
Yeah.
such a flamboyant,
monumental
event.
moment.
Yeah, it's not going to
Right.
be just you run down the street, you get killed.
No,
It's going to be like
it might be like
it's going to be one of them things where
it'd
you
be
like
a spectacle to the world.
it's
Yeah.
going to be a spectacle for sure.
The Lord,
100%
like they might, because remember they've been you remember all the body bags, all the little caskets that they had they've been sitting around.
God, bro.
Shit, that is
The Lord really hate you.
Yeah, you're making some missiles. The
Listen,
Lord
the
really
Lord
hates
hates
you.
you. Yeah,
The
yeah.
Lord like, yo, you're a
Yeah.
2/3, but go ahead, you can get to the missiles. So now think about it.
He'll let you go through all the turmoil and take a trouble.
Hey.
Because you can get fucked up, but you live through it. You get to the missiles, and then you get cooked. Literally,
Oh.
the Most High keep your spirit in your body.
And then you're gonna feel that. It might just gonna feel like it's gonna feel like all eternity. Because
Your
remember,
words are gonna be famous, bro.
they're gonna be famous because it's gonna be something like this. They might, you might get put in a FEMA camp. They're gonna have the guillotines. Anybody who down with Yahweh Shai gotta get their head cut off. You might.
That might stir up mighty men by itself.
That was the point. That was in the day of thy power.
It could be one or two
Hold
things.
on.
You actually a martyr, and you get your head cut off. But they
Or-
see the boldness and your faith in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai.
Or
The Lord gives spiritual power from it.
or
You get spiritual power.
or that joint come down and break and shatter.
And you get spiritual
Ding.
power.
Spiritual
You
power.
get that wake brothers up. So
And everybody
either way,
know what's going on.
Either way, it's a win-win.
Right.
What's he talking about?
But
How about you now,
having
Shai?
great faith because of the three brothers can be in that hot ass furnace and survive that.
Survive.
That ain't nothing either.
Yep.
Exactly.
That ain't fucking
It's
nothing.
nothing. It's not. What is death to the Lord?
Yeah,
Nothing.
nothing.
You know?
Nothing at all. Nothing.
So we just wanted to get into some prophecy, go and talk about some things that are going on around the world. We actually will start getting back more into being on our watch and preaching more. We've been the past couple of months we've gone into more like brothers correcting themselves and doing better, which was also very needed. That was the spirit that the Lord had put on us. But then also I believe that we have been a little laxy-daisy with our prophecy. So we wanted to give some information on what's going on in the world, why it's going on, and what we see through our spiritual eye. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. We want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh, Shai, Yahweh, Double honor to elders and apostles, fellow one to the left, fellow one brothers.